Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and today I will be reviewing the K2 Passport. If you're interested in this board or any other boards or bindings I mentioned in this video, make sure you're going down in that description and clicking those affiliate links. That way you don't have to go searching the internet for yourself. This board is equipped with K2's directional combination camber profile. So what that means is in the nose you're going to have a large rocker section rather. Sorry about that. And then in between the feet, you're gonna have that traditional camber with a smaller rocker section on the tail. So what that's gonna do for you is that camber zone is gonna give you all of that pop, stability, and power you're looking for. And that rocker zone in the nose and in the tail is gonna give you that ease of entry in and out of turns. And it's also gonna help with float when you do find that fresh powder. This board comes in a 146, a 149, a 151, a 151 wide, a 154, a 157, a 157 wide, a 159 wide, a 160, a 162 wide, a 163, and a 166 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where I pretty much had every different snow condition there was. When I first got there in the morning, it was a beautiful sunny day. It was on the warmer side, but as I made my way up to that top of the mountain, it was still full out winter up there. It was pretty breezy. There was just clouds blowing in periodically, keeping the snow firm and fast, where those fresh groomers up there, you could really lay an edge into, and it just felt like just pure winter. As I made my way down the mountain, about halfway down, I would say, it just got crazy soft. Like, it was that slow Velcro snow, and it only got worse as the day went on, but it was still a really good day. I mean, these boards have fast bases on them, so I didn't really have any problem with just getting tossed or anything like that, but it was definitely on that slower, wetter end of the spectrum. I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury Phase bindings. When we're talking overall flex on this board, it's coming in at the middle of the road, slightly stiffer, I would say, where it is a pretty fluid flex, but because there is that rocker on the nose and on the tail, those definitely flex more than the center of the board does. It's nothing crazy like, oh my God, they're super noodly. They're not like that. It's just a little degree below, I would say, the overall flex of this thing. And the torsional flex, it does match the center of the board here, so you're not really having to work super hard where they just made it crazy stiff torsionally. They just had it match the overall flex on the board here. And that kind of translates into stability where even though it was a smaller size, like if you saw my review last year, I rode the 160, this year it's a 154, but it is still pretty stable where that nose and tail, they kind of flex a little bit more, especially at higher speeds through that wet stuff. You're gonna see them just kind of chattering a little bit, but it's not gonna resonate through your feet where it does have damp feeling to it, but it does have some lively tendencies still where you're going in and out of turns. It's springing you in and out. You do have a little bit of nose chatter, but it's nothing crazy where it's gonna affect the stability. You can still charge on this thing and not really have to worry about it. Even though this is the 154, it still has some springs to it because you do have carbon running from the nose to the tail. It does have a good snap to it. It's not gonna be like crazy where it's sending it to the moon or anything like that. It actually is pretty predictable. After you ollie on this thing a couple times, you know exactly how it's gonna go. Even when you're ollieing over rollers or off side hits, it feels very predictable where you're not getting absolutely sprung or bucked in any different direction. It feels very approachable. Like, you don't have to really load it up a whole bunch to get all that return out. It's pretty much just that standard snowboard ollie, and you'll be in the air with zero problems, where it felt really good on the takeoffs and on the landings, even in that firmer snow up top, whereas that true winter condition, it felt good on that. I didn't have any problems with it just kind of losing its edge or anything like that. It felt nice and stable, and honestly, this board does it really well, especially if you're that intermediate rider that is just trying to get your bearings, trying to figure out side hits and all that stuff. It's a great board for that. Like, it's not gonna just overpower you or just send you to the moon when you're not expecting it. It's very predictable. While I have you here and you're enjoying this video so much, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. This board butters really well, especially on the nose since you do have that rocker section and a longer nose on it. it allows you to butter pretty easy. I didn't really have to throw a bunch of weight into it. I could just shift my hips a little past the inserts and it was buttering for me. Same with on the tail, just a little past the inserts there, and it would pretty much just go straight up to 12 o'clock. So I could really wheelie this thing out and still bring it back without any issues. And I mean, I'm gonna say it again, if you saw my last year's one, it required more work, but that's just because it was 6 centimeters bigger. This one didn't require nearly as much work, so when you are getting this board and you're buying it true to your size, just know that it's gonna be in the middle of this one and my old review, where you're not working crazy hard, but you know, you're gonna be working hard enough for it to keep you honest, where it's not a cheater board where you can just kind of pick that foot up and flex it. It's not gonna be like that. You are still gonna put some effort into it, but it's not bad. There is some pop out on the tail and on the nose. There's definitely more on the tail than there is on the nose, but they still have a pretty decent pop out. And both of them, if you're sliding it or if you're buttering it sideways, they both feel nice and stable, where that edge is gonna hold you and really allow you to flex into this board without just washing out and having it kick out on you. This board is definitely on the easier side of carving than I'd say the hard, where if you've seen my review for the Commonwealth, it's not gonna be like that. Even though they share the same shape, they're not gonna carve similar. Where this one, it will hit any carve, but you don't have to put that much effort into it. If you're on those short, quick carves at slow speeds, it's not like it's gonna take a long time for it to get over from edge to edge. It feels nice and nimble there. And on those medium carves, it still feels pretty smooth. Even though I was pretty much going from firm winter conditions all the way to that wet, soft stuff, it still was able to just carve right through it. Even when I hit that line where it just like changed as an instant, I was still able to keep my speed and hold that carve throughout. Yes, it will hit those large carves. There is kind of a top speed on it. It's definitely on the higher end of things, but that nose will let you know when you've hit it, because you'll feel that thing chattering a little bit more. But it's not too bad. Like, it will make it through. You don't have to be a super confident, aggressive carver to ride this thing. You can just take it nice and mellow. Those cruisy carves, they'll hold up for you just fine. And it will still Euro carve through the chop and the chunder. Even though it was shorter for me, I was still able to muscle it through. I wouldn't say it was the best at it. Like, it wasn't as good as the 160 was, but you know, it was still good. It'll still do it for you, especially if you just get that perfect size for yourself. Rider in mind. This board is for that progressing free rider. They have the fundamentals down. They understand how to snowboard. They can pretty much do everything out there, not to the highest level yet, but that's why they're getting this board, because this board will take you from that pretty much intermediate to that advanced rider, especially once you get the right size, because I mean, they make this board in almost every size imaginable, so you shouldn't have a problem finding that. But that's who this board is for. That intermediate that just wants to get better, and they want to be able to use this board to pretty much go anywhere and do anything. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. I really like this board. Made me feel like Goldilocks this year, where last year it was 160, a little too big. This year it was the 54, a little too small. Next year, I'm hoping for the 57 if I do this review again, just so it can be just right and really just kind of seal the deal on this thing. But overall, it is a great board. It didn't matter if I was riding the 60 or the 54. I still had a really good time on this thing, where it did everything I asked of it and then some, where it was just a nice fun board. I didn't have to work too hard on it. You know, my legs were getting a little gassed because it is later in the season. I didn't have to worry about this thing absolutely kicking my ass. It was pretty chill. It was a nice cruisy ride, but I could still pop to the moon on it and really just get this board in the air, which was so much fun. But overall, this thing does everything pretty well, where I wouldn't be scared if you're like, hey man, I need a free ride board, but I only ride true twins. Like, don't be too concerned with that. This board does carve really well, and it's not going to be that much of a crazy jump if you just need like that free ride POW board, that sort of thing. You'll be totally fine with this guy. Comparable boards: the Yes Pick Your Line, the Ride Moderator, and the Public Research. Recommended bindings: the K2 edition, the Ride Drone, and the Yes Airmaster. As always, guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been my review of the K2 Passport. If this just sounds like the board you can't live without, but you just don't know what set of bindings to throw on it, why don't you go check out one of the videos for the recommended bindings so you know you're getting something that's going to fit your needs and going to match up to the board really well.